In this video, I am sharing my setup for the Skinny Classic Size Happy Planner to use for budgeting and a few of my favorite budgeting tips. Hello, I'm Katie. Welcome to the Planner channel. Subscribe to watch 2 videos a week about planning and productivity so that you can create a powerful plan. So let's go back to basics for just a minute and talk about creating your budget. I like to keep things super simple, so I'm just going to show you my outline for creating your budget. I suggest you're going to need a couple of these half classic size sheet pages if you're setting up your classic mini as a budget planner. One of these bill pay checklists, this style or a different style, or any of these checklist style half sheets that you can use as a bill pay checklist. And then if you're tracking expenses for a business or some other reason that you're tracking expenses that you might want to set one up as an expense tracker. But the basics are you're going to need 1 page for your budget and 1 page to track your bills each month. So let's start with the budget. Okay, here's a quick outline of the things that will go in your budget. You're going to first need to figure out your income. Add up all your income, make it a monthly dollar amount. We'll say X amount per month of income. And then this dollar amount of your income is going to equal your expenses to keep it super simple. So this will equal that amount. Now you're going to have, this is my simple version. You're going to have 3 kinds of expenses. So we're going to say the first section is savings, giving, and investments. Now, if you're not doing any of these things right now, that's totally fine. Make it your goal. Set them up to be automatic payments before you get your spending money. That is tip number 1. Don't take my word for it. Go follow, watch, learn, read from any of the financial gurus, and they will tell you tip number 1 is always save first. Pay yourself first. Save and give first. Invest first. Then whatever's left over is what you spend. Second section will be your recurring monthly expenses. So these are going to be things like your mortgage or rent and any recurring payments that are the same amount every month, like insurance and that kind of stuff, all of those things. So this will be like a little list of recurring expenses each month. Then the next section will be your variable expenses. And this is all the things you spend money on that are different amounts each month. So maybe you have a credit card bill, or you have your just regular expenses like food, etc., and entertainment, and all the things. So this is where all the things go that aren't a recurring expense. So then you add all that up, and then that amount is going to equal, these 2 amounts will equal. So that's your budget. Easy peasy, done. Now, what you want to do is start out by creating these lists, get your dollar amounts equaling. You're going to have to adjust. And if you need to figure out, like you don't know how much you're spending on food each month, and you don't know how much you're spending on entertainment, then that's what you need to start with tracking. So track your food for a month and see how much you're spending on takeout, or you're spending on groceries, or you're spending eating out, and kind of understand your spending habits. So if you don't know and you haven't done this before, you need to track things for a while, at least for a month, and see what your habits are. Because after you track everything for a month, then you'll find out, oh my gosh, I spend $200 a month at Starbucks, and maybe that's fine, and maybe that's your expense that is your fun or your treat for yourself. Or maybe you decide you want to be more intentional with that $200 and you want to spend half of that at Starbucks, and then save $100 a month, right? So that's why you need to track it anywhere in this variable expense column. So I suggest getting this put together first. Put it in the front of your planner right here, and then you'll just refer to this list every month to pay your bills. And here's what I mean. So on your bill pay checklist, you're going to put your list of first your recurring expenses like your mortgage or rent, and whichever insurance or other recurring things, list those out first. I highly recommend scheduling everything, these things to be paid automatically, these things to be paid automatically. So when you sit down to pay your bills, these are the only ones you're paying. You need to look at that each month. You can set it to be paid automatic, but you need to record it so that you know how much you're spending. So down, of course, up here is your recurring, and then you can list out your variable things like a credit card that you have to pay manually if it's a different, like a variable, different amount each month. I also suggest you either schedule your payment dates to be all the same date, so you only have to sit down and pay your bills once a month, or you schedule your payments in advance, so you still sit down once a month to go through this list and just schedule this payment to be made on the due date, whatever the due date is, so that you're still only looking at this once a month. Easy peasy, done. So this will go right here at the front of your monthly. Easy. There, bill pay checklist. So you look at this once a month. Now, if there are any areas of expenses that you want to track, this is how I want you to track them. And this is how I use mine. So in the weekly part, for me personally, the things I track here are my expenses, mostly my food budget. So groceries, eating out, takeout, my Starbucks, those kind of things all go here, and any other expenses that aren't on my other expense list. I just put my receipts in here in a little stack, and every once in a while I come back in and I just write the place I spent the money, Publix, Starbucks, whatever, and the dollar amount, and then I just add it up. So I'll have like a total over here for this week, and then at the end of the month I can just total these 4 pages, and then I know how much I spent in whichever category this is that I'm tracking, or if it's all my expense, whatever you want to do, the things you want to keep an eye on, things you want to track, this is where I suggest you track those. Leave a comment down below and share with me how you are using your planner for budgeting. We have your budget in the front, and then once a month you go in and fill out your bill pay checklist here, check off that these things were paid automatically, manually pay these, and track your expenses in the daily. If you're tracking expenses for a specific purpose, you can track them here. I use this section for my expenses for the planner channel and the planner school. So if you have a small business or anything like that, you might want to use an expense tracker for that. And that's it. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe, share with your friends, hit that thumbs up button, click the link in the description box to get your free power plan checklist, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.